Hi everyone, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing a new series, hopefully a new series. It's going to be called Saturday with the Boys. It's going to be a little bit more of a vlog podcast sort of format. And today we're going to be on the topic of relationships. As someone who's talked about relationships before on this channel, I have no experience. And so we brought someone with a lot of experience. Do you want to introduce yourself?
I am Steve, and yeah, I've been in a relationship for about 9 years now, so that's a pretty good experience, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's a very good experience. That's a lot compared to me. I mean, 0 to 9. Wait, was it 8 or 9?
2016.
2016, damn. Those were the good days, right?
Uh, yeah, right up until the very end.
Oh yeah, and everything went downhill right after that. So,
Yeah, but we don't need to talk about that.
how do you pull baddies?
How do, how do I pull baddies? Well, the key is confidence, Brian. Pause.
Look, we can
The key,
keep going.
the key, the key is the key is confidence, Shinobu. All right. All right. You can start the recording for me.
No,
The key,
we'll keep going.
the key is confidence.
We're just gonna keep going.
It's about, it's about, it's about knowing, it's about knowing yourself
Mhm.
and just knowing your game. You know what I mean? It's like when you're driving down the block
Uh-huh.
and you're all the way in the left lane
Yeah.
and you're just like going down.
Hmm.
All right, okay. You know what? We're gonna have to restart, Brian. I can't do it. I can't.
We gotta keep going, man. Don't stop. We're already here.
All
It's already,
right,
it's
so
already,
we're
it's
already
already
here.
recorded, man. It's already too far. You gotta keep going, boss.
Okay. Anyway.
So it's like
Yeah.
you're
So
saying your driving analogy. You know, I'm not a driver. I don't know how to drive, right?
yeah, you don't know how to drive.
I don't know how to drive.
Damn. Okay. Anyway.
You were
All
saying,
right. I actually got lucky
ah,
because I've known my partner for about 4 years. We met when I was in uh, junior year of high school, and I was actually friends with their brother, and we went to go watch Godzilla 2014,
well, that was a
the
good
very
one.
first one.
It's a good one.
Yeah, with Bryan Cranston, and was Aaron Taylor Johnson in that movie?
I
Pretty
think so.
sure.
It was gonna send us back to the Stone Age.
Yeah.
Very good film.
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly. That whole series low key popped off from there. The Kong movie, uh,
Kong movie,
Skull Island, Kong.
Skull Island was good. I think that's one of
That
my
movie
favorite
freaking
films.
slaps.
The
Freaking
skull crawler design, dude. I think I gotta admit that the skull crawlers as a
yeah, the
as like a
Skullcrawler.
very fucking. I know how they bring him back. Damn, we're going into spoiler. It doesn't fucking matter. No one's gonna fucking watch Godzilla. But yeah, the skull crawler design. Like skull crawlers when they come back in what is it? Godzilla vs Kong.
Did they bring him back for that one?
They bring him back. I think they're in this. Do you remember the section where they're under in like that sort of a testing area where they're testing Mecha Godzilla?
Oh yeah, they do. They do. They have him in that
Back.
freaking the testing room.
Yeah, and that's like there's like a different variant of it where it's like a color green or something, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. No.
but
With
like
Millie Bobby Brown
she's not. We're not gonna get into that.
and the little New Zealand kid
From Deadpool.
from Deadpool. Dude,
What is his other
Deadpool.
what is his other film though? I know he's in like the one where
He's in Jojo Rabbit, right?
no that's a different kid.
You never seen Jojo Rabbit?
No, I've seen Jojo Rabbit, but I think it's like it's a white kid.
Like a meme character?
I can't see. I should have not gone down here. I think no one's gonna be able to see, but we'll get out this temple.
Anyway, I met my partner there at that movie theater, and we did not exchange any words. I just said, "What's up?" And they were like, "Hey, what's up?" And then that was in like the summer before I started junior year. And then I started junior year, and we had like I was taking a AP physics class, and they were there for some reason, and I just was like, "Hey, I know you," and then I sat down right next to them, and we were just sitting next to each other. First day of class, first day of school, and then yeah, after that, they left that class immediately. I had no idea why. I found out later that it was just because of embarrassment, but they had nothing to be embarrassed about. Anyway, junior year goes by, and I meet this girl, and she's pretty cool, and she's like, "Yo, do you want to go watch The Force Awakens?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to go watch The Force Awakens." So then we went and watched The Force Awakens, and we were just watching the movie together, but I was too scared to like hold her hand or anything. So I didn't. And then after that, she was like, "Hey, why didn't you like do anything?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I was too scared." Cuz that's how good boys are. I'd imagine.
Oh.
I was too scared to do anything, so I didn't do anything. And then yeah, nothing went on from there. So I just went on through junior year, basically like that, by myself, but while still being maintaining like a sort of pseudo friendship with my would-be partner. And then we go into senior year, and I meet a different girl, and then we actually do get together, and she's like super cool. But the problem was, she was the ex of one of my homies.
Oh.
My homie Charlie.
Yeah.
He was cool with it, I think. Then we went to the water park all together,
Oh.
and I don't think he was cool with it.
No, I don't think I. Oh, I can't say shit, but I don't think I would be cool with it. I mean, it's a little strange situation, right?
Yeah, but yeah, and all the other like people in the friend group were like, "Dude, what are you doing? That's Charlie's girl." And I was like, "My bad. Sorry, Charlie."
How close were you
Like
guys?
dead ass.
Like, how close were you?
We were like very close because we were all on the cross country team together.
Did you ask him before?
Like,
Or...
so like we I probably should have, but it's because she asked me out first, and I like an idiot was just like, yeah, sure. And then we just let it rock from there.
That's pretty.
So we were going together for like a good couple months, like exchanging DVDs and stuff,
pretty rich.
as the lads do. And then yeah, a lot of these things revolve around movies, huh? But you'll see why in a bit. So towards the end of my senior year, we'd already broken up, and then I was like down in the dumps over this girl because it was like my first real relationship. So it was like I was like not wanting to finish school. I wanted to run away from home and all that other melodramatic stuff.
Yeah.
But my would-be partner was like, "Hey, it's cool. We're gonna be all right. We're chilling." I was like, "You right." So then we're coming up around May, and we're in the height of like Marvel movies. This is gonna be the release of Captain America: Civil War. They've been building up this tension between Steve Rogers and Tony Stark. And so I was like, hey, do you want to go watch this movie with me? And they were like, yeah, I do want to watch this movie with you. And so we go and watch it. And like, there's a big old fight scene in the airport. And and Spider-Man comes out. And like Iron Man's like, Underoos. And Spider-Man comes out and starts like webbing stuff up, going crazy. I got super excited.
Crazy.
So I grabbed their hand. I was like, hey, that's freaking Spider-Man in the MCU. I don't know why I was too excited for that, but I was very excited. And I grabbed their hand and we held hands for the rest of the movie. And that was like a good hour. And then we got out of the movie and they grabbed my hand and I was like, this feels right. So we just held hands on our walk home. And then from there, it was history.
Very interesting. It's a nice story. Thank you for sharing that. So, now we bring up the interesting talk. As a single person, when you tell that sort of story, as someone who has absolutely zero experience with dating, right? And I listen to your
Right.
stories, and it's like, you've had relationships, and you've been able to test what works for you and what doesn't work. For someone again, for someone who's like ill experienced, how would you go through gauging, and finding for yourself the kind of relationship that works for you?
Well, you kind of just have to it's a mix between getting lucky, not in that sense, but because it really is it's like the lottery. You find a perfect match with somebody, and I believe that I found the perfect match. We're gonna be together for a long time. But yeah, the first two people that I was with, I don't know, something was wrong, and you kind of sense it, but you won't be able to sense it unless you're in contact with that person, and there's a communication there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So if you meet someone and they're really cool, yeah, it's okay to just start out as friends, and then eventually it could evolve into something better.
That's a good one.
And then so I wouldn't really worried about if I were to do it all over again, or go back and tell myself hey, you don't have to worry. Eventually you will find someone and it's going to be cool. And you might go through a couple duds and then or you find the one immediately. This was my first we're in a non-heterosexual heteronormative relationship, and it's wonderful. Actually, it's so weird. We don't have to play by any of the tropes, I guess, that you watch in the movies and stuff. How people grow up to imagine how relationships are supposed to be. So we kind of figure everything we figure everything out for ourselves, kind of. And through learning together, we I don't know, we've grown a lot stronger. But that's not to say, hey, everybody should just be non-heterosexual. But I get that's a sexual orientation for a bunch of people, and it's okay to be heterosexual. You shouldn't be ashamed about that. But those same things apply. It's not like the movies. Everything is not like the movies. So you're just gonna There's going to be some highs, really high highs. There's going to be really low lows. And if you go through it with the right person and you both have an understanding, then it's going to be cool. And you're going to be all right. And years later, you guys will probably, who knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's all really just patience. But at the same time, like, you still got to put yourself out there to an extent. Otherwise, you won't find anything.
Yeah, it's a big risks, big reward, and that's really something we need to. Something I probably need to work out in my own life. It's not normally. I normally used to be very, very, very out there, but of
Right.
course, with the risk, there's a chance of rejection, of course. And that's one of the fears I have when I want to go out. And we talk about we were talking about it right now. We talk about you need to put yourself out there. But at the same time, as someone who struggles with putting themselves out there, I struggle to put myself out, and that's because of I've never. It's the dilemma I see with myself. It's like a dilemma where you need to go. Of course, you need to go out there to get experience, and if you have no experience, it's like a big gap. I know talking with you has helped me a bit to sort of like expand my view on this topic, because I've obviously you have the movie nostalgia, not movie nostalgia, but I have the movie frame, where it's I view relationships again from this 500 Days of Summer blah blah esque view, and it's like it's hard to separate that image of like you mentioned it before, you mentioned it during your story, where it's like obviously it wasn't technically it wasn't love at first sight.
No.
And but however, in most films, and like it's false. When you're watching Civil War, that's not real. But like the experience itself, when you're out there, when you're out there watching, it gives you like a sensation that sort of convolutes the truth of what it actually is. And to bring it back into question form, so I can ask you, it's again, it's how do you get over that fear of rejection? Like, what would you say? Like, what would be your advice for that?
To get over the fear of rejection.
Yes, it's a big one.
That, yeah, it's like getting over the fear of dying.
Yeah.
It's like
it's a big ass one, right? And it's like that whole thing about rejection, and it's also relative, very relative. Your sense of
right.
Your fear of rejection is probably different from my fear of rejection.
Yeah, exactly. You have to define like what you mean by rejection.
But I guess sometimes I get the feeling, right, where it's like it's pretty much putting them on a pedestal, right? I guess. Where it's like I'm like, damn, is this my one shot, right? What if there's no one else out there for me in that scene?
What if there's an autumn waiting for you at the end of the movie?
Yeah, just so you can fucking scapegoat your way out of the whole fucking lesson. But yeah, it's that sense of rejection where it's like, what if this is my one shot, and if I fumble this shot, what if there's no one out there for me? I guess that's my sense of rejection.
So
that's a doozy.
it is like it's like the fear of dying thing. But the thing about the fear of rejection is you're not gonna die. You'll feel sad for a little bit, and it's gonna hurt. It'll hurt like hell. But you're bound to get rejected at least once. I mean, I've been rejected a couple times. I mean, I was very lucky to find to be with my high school sweetheart, basically. Um, but I was rejected a couple times before that, and I had that fear of like, oh, I don't even want to like ask her out because if she says no, then I'm gonna look like a fool or whatever. But now that I'm like way older, I realize nobody cares about what's going on with you. Or like your homies will care, but like overall no one's gonna like judge you or hate you just because you were rejected. You're and it'll hurt for yourself. But there is always other fish in the sea.
That's true.
There always is. There's like 8 billion people on Earth.
That's
So you have like 8 billion chances.
8 billion chances. So I'm gonna find
You're
an 80-year-old baddie.
You could. You really could. Ooh, an 80-year-old sugar mama?
80-year-old
Ooh.
sugar mama.
Just imagine that.
That's the dream.
Staying home every day,
Yeah.
playing Animal Crossing.
Fuck yeah. No, I'm not doing that right now. I'm playing Minecraft. But
Or
I-
Minecraft.
so we're gonna start wrapping this up a bit. So, is there any last little notes you want to say before I cut it off?
Yeah. It's just
Go give your big advice. Give your Magnus opus of a.
okay. For someone who's never dated anyone before,
Yes, go for it.
my advice is to if you have someone in mind that you're like friends with and like you really like that person and you want to evolve that relationship, go for it. They're friends with you for a reason. They probably like you if they're friends with you, obviously. So go for it. Try to make something happen. And if not, if they want to just stay friends with you, that's okay too. No one, I mean, it's not like they're gonna hate you for you liking them too much. Go for it. But if there's like nobody and you have no friends and you're just like playing Minecraft every day, just in your room,
I wonder who does that.
go out to like Barnes and Noble or something and talk to somebody in the manga section. Literally anybody. Just be like, hey. Yeah. Just be like, hey, do you want to go down to the Barnes and Noble cafe? And just like, yeah, you know what I mean.
What if they're reading My Hero though? Like,
if they're reading My Hero Academia, ooh, that's a. Obviously.
What's the gauge counter on that? What's the gauge counter on that?
Obviously. Okay, so this is going to be a little off topic thing. There's obviously a couple red flags. A lot of people have a lot of red flags. So it's not really like 8 billion people. It's probably closer to like 4 billion people.
Because you just put the italics out.
50% of the people you'll meet are freaking weird. Half of them are going to be like a straight no-go.
So what you're saying is, the information you just told me, there's half off now. There's.
Okay. You still have 8 billion chances. Half of those are going to be rejections, and half of those are going to be rejections you're thankful for. You know what I mean?
I know what you.
Like the very first girl, the very first girl that we went to go watch Star Wars with. You know what happened after we graduated high school?
What?
She had twins. Like immediately after graduating high school. And I was like, damn, twins. In this economy?
In this economy, fuck not, man.
So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm gonna take the shot. Nah. We'll figure that out.
I don't know.
So that's your advice, right? Take the shot?
Yeah, take it. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, as we know.
Is that your quote?
No, I think
ChatGPT?
I think ChatGPT made that one up.
They're good. I like their books.
I read it in a sports book once.
Alright, so I'm gonna cut it off right there. I hope everyone has a good night, has a good morning, and we'll catch you all later.
Good night, YouTube.